A big thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video.
Merry Christmas everybody, and in this video I'm going to talk all about two different ways of taking photos. I want to get out of my comfort zone. I usually just go to a location and really concentrate on the hero shot, the shot that's going to make the best impression of that place, the shot that what becomes a portfolio print. But shooting with James when I was in Cornwall, I wanted to sort of do something more similar to what he did and in a more of a documentary type photography. So when I go to a location, not just concentrate on that hero shot, but get that shot and then not wait around for the best light, but take other things. And that's really difficult for me because to shoot different things in a location is against what I've always done. I've always wanted to just go and get the best shot I can and just concentrate on that one composition. I do that in the second part of the video when I'm at Bottleack Mines. And we'll show that at the end. I've got a print to show that's just on the printer there. But first of all, we'll go back to Logan Rock and this amazing cove, and I'll explain a little bit more about how I go about getting different images in this location.
Well, morning everybody, and fantastic to see you all again. I am here at a place called Logan Rock, I think it is, and this is a nudist beach. Can't see any nudists at the moment, but you never know. But we're gonna take the photo here, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about just photographing really amazing spots like this, because this is the hero shot really. This is a shot that we've come to take. I'll probably find a composition somewhere around here and get this shot. But I sometimes feel when you go to locations like this, it's good to just take a series of photos that sort of help to support that hero image. And in this video, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and get a few different images that just support this sort of wider angle shot that I'm going to take here. I'll talk you through the composition of the hero image, the other images, why I'm taking them. And this is often a good thing to do if you're trying to get your photos in a magazine, or you're trying to write a blog about your photos, tell a story of a trip that you've gone on. It's always good to try and take things just around that initial shot. Okay, so I've come down a little lower to try and get these sea cliffs over here to break the horizon, but as you'll see in the photo, it's actually probably the worst scenario because I can't go any lower. There's a really nice foreground here, but they're just on the horizon, so I need to go a bit higher because on the horizon doesn't look very good. But I think this is quite a nice shot. What I've got here that's really nice is I've got a little bay down here, so if I just show you that. So this little bay is just a nice little shot. I'm just going to do a nice tight shot down there. It's beautiful. It's just absolutely perfect for a supporting image. So we're going to take that. I don't think we're going to get any light. It was really nice about 5-10 minutes ago, and now it's just gone bleh. Oh well, I'll take this shot and then we'll see where we go. Oh, there's a cloud up there, looks amazing, but these clouds look amazing too, so these clouds here. And I've got a composition here with my sort of 14mm lens where I've just got this bay down here, which is really nice. And again, it's not like the hero image, it's just like a pleasant landscape photo, but I feel like it tells the story a little bit because I really like the colours in those clouds, and I really like how they sort of just complement the colours of the water as well. The interesting thing is there's some surfers that I've just noticed down there. So I'm going to try and grab some shots of those, probably put my longer lens on. I'll have them quite wide within the scene, or small within the scene, but I think it'll look pretty good. Problem is I've just dropped my microphone buff down this gap. Gone forever. Okay, so I managed to come a little bit lower and get this here, which is pretty nice. I've got this line of rocks here. There's some really nice birds there. The waves just take you all the way up here, and the sun is rising just behind Logan Rocks over there, so it looks pretty good. There's just too many clouds though. We're not going to get a good sunrise. This is such a good sunrise location. Oh, such a shame. But I think this is again, the hero shot really. This is the shot that I've come to get. But I think I'm going to take some shots just of the birds on the sands down here, which I think looks pretty good. And then some closer up shots with a long lens here with the waves breaking. And then I've got a better angle now to get these surfers, so hopefully I should be able to get those. Okay, so I found another one here. So Mas was just stood in this gap here, just taking a photo. It just looked really good. His silhouette was really nice. And the rocks in the foreground, the path leading to him looked really good. So I took that shot. The sun is just so diffused behind the clouds, just wispy clouds, which I think is not going to look fantastic. But there's loads of like patterns and sea birds, and then the surfers dotted around. There's so many things to photograph just in this one spot. Yeah, and I think there's a good shot back in this direction in a minute as well, so I'm going to take that as the sun just hits the rocks. Hey, this is such fun. So I've just taken a really interesting picture of these patterns, and then Mas came along and ruined it. But his shadow was cast in a really nice shadow, and I just like the way he was just stood and just taking pictures of the patterns as well. So I got him. There's just so much to photograph. It's just so amazing. Oh wow. And then I'm shooting back in that direction as well, so I'll tell you about that when I've found a good composition. Thanks, Mas.
Okay, the sun's gone in a little bit at the moment, so I'm just trying to get the patterns of these sort of waves as they break in on the sand. It just looks amazing. And I've also got a few more shots of Mas. You can probably see him just somewhere over there. But these patterns just breaking just look really, really nice. So it's a question of just waiting until one comes in and they just lead through. Just like most seascapes, it's a question of taking a lot of photos, a bit of patience. We can get something pretty spectacular. So good here. It's so good.
Okay, hope you enjoyed that. I didn't show all the photos that I got, but I think I showed a good summary of the sort of images and the different things that I wanted to shoot. Obviously I couldn't get right down to the beach. I'm going to show some of Mas's images as well from here. But first of all, we'll go through the images that I took. So first of all, when I first got there, I took this sort of dawn image. So this was just as the sun was rising, and I got these nice reflected sort of light on the water here, and there was no sort of marks on the tide here, and the tide was going out. I then sort of had a look around and I could see that there was these little bays that I thought would be quite good. And also, if you're doing this and you're shooting images, like a collection of images like this, then it's quite a good idea to do this if you want to publish in a magazine or something, and to think about what you want to publish in a magazine. I've written a blog about this and showed all the images here, and I've also given some tips if you are going to submit your images to a magazine as well. So make sure you check out that blog. I'll link it in the description below, and also give it a thumbs up if you like this video so far, because that makes a big difference to the video and how well it does. So yeah, so this was something that is probably not, you know, a shot that I would usually show, but I think it helps the collection of images. I think it shows, you know, that this nice little bay and just these waves coming in. It shows the clean sand. This image here, I don't know whether I'd probably add this into the collection. I was actually waiting for a bird just to appear on this bit of sand here, and I thought that would have been really nice. I like the colours, the textures in this, and the patterns. So this was the bay again, but you know, rather than that shot, it was a wider shot of that bay. I quite like this because it shows how isolated it is. I like the textures in the water here. The other thing in a magazine as well is by having areas on an image like, you know, this area here, it's good to have those sort of negative space areas for people to write text. So this is another good example of that, where there's just this lone surfer here. Would be easy to write text on it. So if I was submitting these to a magazine, then this would be a good image to submit in there, but again, isn't a standalone image. So then I got to shooting the hero shot. I got mass just on here. Again, I probably wouldn't have taken this usually, but I got mass just on these rocks here, shooting out to sea. And then as the sun just came up above these rocks, I got this shot, which was the hero shot, I suppose. I really like this. I talked about in the video the cloud was it was quite hazy, but actually that haziness adds to the scene. I think it gives that sort of mysterious quality, and I like this. This is Logan Rock here, this rock I think here, and again I talk about Logan Rock in the blog, so make sure you go and check it out. But I think this works quite well. I think this is probably the hero shot. There's also a supplementary shot to that, which is when the light got a little bit higher. It was casting light on these rocks here, which again you could argue is the hero shot as well, but I think it's a wider shot, just turning around a little bit, give it a little bit more context, which is good. And then I started to go a little bit closer and show some of the patterns on the beach. I'll show Mass's images here as well, because he was down on the beach there, and I actually got a shot of him shooting those. So again, if this was going into a magazine, it might be an article about photographing Logan Rock or something like that. Then having the photographer actually photographing it is important to tell that story. So, you know, I wanted to get Mass actually taking that, and I like the shadow that was cast there, as I said in the video. And he got some amazing shots, which I'm showing now, of those patterns. And also, because he was low, he also could get the reflection down there. I couldn't get down there because it was a bit of a struggle to sort of climb down, and I didn't want to hurt my back. And then, yeah, and it's a nudist beach, this, and actually there was somebody swimming when Mass got down there, which I think was a bit of a surprise. And then there's this shot here, which is the light cast in the other direction onto these rocks. I really like the colour combination. Again, it's not a shot that I probably would have shared, but it, as part of that collection, it works really well. You know, it's documenting this particular bit of coastline. And you know, I was careful with this. You know, I thought about this wave here and just getting the wave just breaking. So it wasn't just a snapshot. It was a, you know, a properly thought out shot. Then I like the curves of this here going towards, again, Logan Rock in the background, a bit of a closer shot. This was at 100mm. And then again, Mass down here on the water, I think looked really good. I got quite a lot of shots like this. This was probably the best one, I think. Again, it's just a context shot. It'd be really good this to use black text on here. So in a magazine, this would work really, really well. And that's what, you know, when you submit into a magazine, you've got to think about that. You've got to think about, you know, where can people put text? You know, are there portrait, landscape and panoramic shots? I've probably not got a panoramic shot in here, but really you should have one, because they'll be able to fit them into the magazine a lot better. And you should probably have sort of between 10 to 20 images. And then I wanted to shoot the Minack Theatre here, and also I quite liked having the surfer in here. Unfortunately, this surfer didn't quite catch a wave, but I did catch another surfer getting a wave here with the rocks in as well. So I felt like this was again a good context shot. It showed that there were surfers in this area. So I felt like those held together as a good collection of images. Anyway, I've waffled on about all those images. Let's go to another location, which was later this day. And this is where I just went to get the hero shot. I'll show you the print when I've showed you me in a very windy Bottleack Mines.
Oh, this is so amazing. Just look at the waves down here. They just look incredible. This storm is really going to produce something quite special, I think, this evening. Obviously, it's never ideal when the sun's directly behind you. Ideally, the sun would be more out to sea, so it's probably a better summer location, but we want these stormy conditions. I'm probably going to end up on this little bit over here, shooting more in that direction, but I just wanted to try it from here, and also I'm experimenting a little bit with shutter speed. I think, what did I have on before? I think it was around about 1 second. The reason I experiment is because when I'm further away from the waves, effectively they're moving less in the frame. If I'm closer to the waves, they're moving more in the frame, even though they're going the same speed, if you see what I mean. So 1 second's going to work, I think, and because I will do some faster ones as well, so it's to catch the droplets of water, but I also just want to create this sort of texture in the water as well, and it's perfect for this. I've also got a polarizer on, and yeah, I mean, it's shaping up to be something really special, this, really, really special. The best thing about the sun being there and rain is rainbow, which you can't see now, it's disappeared, but I just took a photo of it, a little bit lower. It's so epic, the waves are just so epic. Oh my word, and the clouds, just everything just works together. What's really nice is the colour of the water and the colour of the stone on the buildings is just like a really complementary colour palette, so just looks fantastic. To be honest, when it's like this, photography is simple, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Click.
Click, yeah.
Call me out, tiger. Call me out, why don't you love?
So this is the location that I've just been dreaming of. Everything I thought it would be. I've tried to sort of separate just that little spire there so it crosses the horizon. I feel like it just is compositionally a little bit better by being lower down. And yeah, this is just so amazing. The waves coming in here are just incredible. So I've just got to try 2 different shutter speeds, probably one at like 0.002 of a second and one at maybe a second, just to capture the water droplets as they crash up there. And then just wait for the best light really and shoot it in different lights. Oh, doesn't get better than this. This is perhaps the most epic thing I have ever seen. We just need a little bit of light now. The clouds in the background are dark, which is really nice. We've got a bit of contrast. If you have a bit of light now, the orange will pop on these sort of stacks, and the turquoise in the water is so brilliant. I've gone to a fast shutter speed just to capture the droplets. It needs to be super quick though, because you just, and yeah, in terms of a composition, it's fairly simple really. There's nothing too complicated about it. I want to include enough of the sea. I don't want to chop off the white. I want to give the white room to breathe, which is important, I think. The chimney stack's important, and then just making sure the bottom of my frame, I'm chopping it at the right point. Doesn't get better than this, did I say that?
Up higher, above the clouds, won't you love? When the scenery is right, go right in. I want to fall deep within. Don't leave me hanging just 'cause I'm too proud. Whisper
It just keeps getting better. So I've just come up a bit higher, and I've got this nice sort of window, this frame that's framing this background scene here. I'm not going to get the detail in the waves so much. It's not going to be about the waves, it's going to be more about the whole scene. I can still see the 2 tin mines. The main one looks good. I think the clouds might be better from here because they're not going to be as much of a part of the composition because a lot of it's taken up by this. The sun I can just see over there is just setting. We've probably got about an hour left, and oh my word, I said I was just going to take 1 photo and show you how I'm going to edit it. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to do it at a few different shutter speeds again because I like the textures in the water at about 1 second, and we'll see. Oh my word, I might have to get my long lens out and shoot over there as well because the backlit waves just look incredible.
my outdated doubts. Somebody do down. I'm not that old yet, I'm far too young to not stand my ground.
So as you could see, it was a fairly windy day there, but we had some amazing waves. This was the print, so this was probably my favourite shot. I'm going to show you the other shots as well in a minute, but this was probably my favourite of the shots. The light in this and the clouds just worked really well. I've got better waves, but I feel like the light and the clouds just worked really well on this. I just love the colour combination of those waves on this. But I'll show you a few others that I took. I obviously got this rainbow shot. I quite like the vertical orientation of this rainbow shot. It's interesting, I did a Twitter poll of 4 of the images here, and I'll put the poll up, you can see the results. And the one that I printed, which with the light on, was the one that everyone liked the most, but I thought everyone would like the rainbow one, but I actually showed in the Twitter poll this version of it, so it was more like that. And I think that that probably doesn't look as good as the portrait version. But this is the one that everyone liked the most, and the light's just so much stronger. It creates a lot more vivid colours as well. I also polarised this, so you can see there's just a little bit difference in the water. And I polarised this shot. I like this, I think it looks good. The clouds are particularly good in this image. And then as I went through the day, I took another one like that. I tried some long exposures, some closer up ones. I really like this shot actually. I think this worked really, really well. And again, the other long exposure here, which was shot at a second, was just creating some really nice textures. I think that was a second as well. Yeah, a second seemed to work quite well. And then I took the wider image here. So they were all the same. This one was just a slightly different composition of that scene. I actually really like this, but I am not 100% sure about the sky, although now I'm looking at it again, I actually really like it. And then the final one was this one, which was probably the best wave, but by that time, the weather had just, it wasn't as great really, so we weren't getting that sort of direct sun, which was such a shame because this was the best wave that I got. So that was it. I think I got a fantastic shot when I was just concentrating on this composition here, and I think it does show the difference it makes because I could concentrate on the waves, the light, I could wait around, I wasn't worried about getting anything else. But I did enjoy shooting these photos here, photographing Logan Rock, and I put together a blog about it, and this is the sort of thing you would want to do with those types of photos. So I've got a blog here about the photographing it, some ideas around it. I've put in Mass's photos in there as well, and I've also put in some tips at the bottom for submitting your photos for inclusion in a magazine as well. So go and take a look at that blog. That blog was made using Squarespace on my website, which is built on Squarespace, which is an amazing platform if you're looking to set up your website. And as photographers, we want to share our work as much as we can. And a website is the best way to do it because you're in control of the quality of the images. So if you're looking to build your own website, then make sure you head over to squarespace.com/Nigel or use offer code Nigel to get 10% off. I'm going to do some finishing touches to this, and I'm also going to just probably print some more photos, I think, because I just love printing. And until next Sunday, bye.